The Lord be with you. It was a strange and extraordinary week before Christmas. On Monday, a father of a church family came to visit me bearing gifts. Literally, he walked through my door carrying nicely wrapped Christmas presents, a whole armload full. I told him, "You shouldn't have." He told me, "I didn't. These are for my kids." Evidently, his children had thought it would be a good idea to break into the Christmas presents a little early. And when they were caught in the act, this father had told his family that he was going to return all of the presents to the stores where he and his wife had bought them, and that there would be no Christmas in their house that year. He told his wife to take down all the decorations. He opened the door to the garage, opened the trunk of the car, and unceremoniously threw all of the Christmas presents into the trunk. In front of his children, he asked his wife for all of the receipts. But instead of returning them to the stores where he had purchased them, he brought the family gifts to my office. "What do you want me to do with them?" I asked. "Could I just leave them here, Pastor? I can pick them up after the Christmas Eve service." I told him that, of course, he could leave them with me. But I wasn't about to let him leave without finding out what he was up to. "It's simple, Pastor. I'm going to teach them a lesson they will never forget. When they go to bed on Christmas Eve, which was Friday that week, thinking that they will be getting up to Christmas Day, but one without presents or decorations that Saturday, they are going to wake up to a house that is fully decorated and a tree with all the presents waiting for them under it. I hope I can teach them that the greatest gift they will ever receive on this Christmas Day or any other is the gift of God's grace." This conversation took place on a Monday. Christmas fell on Saturday of the same week. Those poor children. I realized much later that this father, while trying to teach his children about the blessing of Christmas, also walked them through Holy Week at the same time. At the beginning of the week, the children had to be so excited. Christmas was coming. And Jesus rode down Main Street, Jerusalem, on the back of a donkey. The crowd cheered his coming and praised him to the highest heaven. Then the children made a bad mistake. They dug into the presents before they should have, and the gifts were taken from them. The crowd shouted for Barabbas to be freed. As for Jesus, the same crowd had only two words: "Crucify him." And Jesus died on a cross for the sins of the world. That whole week must have been agony for the children in that family. No Christmas, no tree, no presents. They had ruined everything. Jesus lay in the tomb. The disciples had lost everything. Their dreams were dead. Their Lord was dead. They were bewildered. How could this be? How could this have happened? On Christmas Day, those children got out of bed to walk to the kitchen to get a bowl of cereal, expecting not much of a Christmas. What? The tree was up? The decorations were up? The presents were back under the tree? I'm sure they squealed as only children can. On the third day, the stone was rolled away, and the disciples received the news: "He is not here. He is risen." Our world seems to be experiencing Holy Week right now. Crowds are shouting at each other. Loved ones are being buried. And like the disciples, most of us are bewildered and dismayed. How can this be? The greatest hope I have to offer was spoken 2,000 years ago. He is not here. He is risen. Christ is among us. Jesus is with us. And there is grace, more than enough, grace for the world to hold. Amen.